No matter how many highs or lows this season brings, there's always one night that feels different. One night that hits harder, sounds louder, and demands every ounce of attention. And tonight is that night. Monday Night Football is here, and with it comes the questions, the pressure, and the truth about where this team is really headed. So before we dive into the latest breakdown, get ready, because what you're about to hear might change the way you watch this game. It's game day. Monday Night Football. And no matter how wild this season has been, nothing gets bigger or more intense than this moment. The Raiders walk in at 2-7, the Cowboys at 3-5-1, but records don't matter tonight. What matters is direction. Identity. Progress. Because let me be honest, a loss isn't ruining my day anymore. I don't want the Raiders to lose, especially not to my wife's favorite team, but I also don't want to see this team fall apart just to chase a draft slot. This franchise needs momentum. It needs belief. It needs to show every player and every coach that this is a place worth fighting for. Every time I sit down to watch the Raiders, I look for one thing, proof that we're moving forward. You might feel the same way, tired, frustrated, but still searching for something real, something that tells you this team hasn't stopped fighting. Before we get into the newest updates, take 1 second, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss the latest Raiders news. Now let's move on to the new updates. All week, social media has been filled with people giving up on the season, saying they're done watching, done supporting, done caring. And yes, this team has been frustrating. No doubt about it. But these games still matter, because they reveal what's coming next. They show who's improving, who's stepping up, and who belongs in the long-term plan. That's why I built a list, my top 10 things I'm looking for tonight on Monday Night Football. And if you think this list makes sense, share it with other fans. Let's talk about what really matters. At number 10, I want to see more Jack Beck and less Dante Thornton Jr. Not a benching, not a punishment, just a smarter balance. Last week, Thornton played 37 snaps while Beck played only 14. Both players bring different tools to the field, and those tools should match the roles they're best at. Thornton has been targeted 21 times this season, 6 catches, 98 yards, 4 first downs. Beck. 11 targets, 7 catches, 73 yards, 5 first downs. It's not about who's better, it's about how they're used. Give Beck around 25 to 30 snaps so he can work the intermediate game and move the chains. Give Thornton 14 to 15 snaps where he's a true vertical threat, stretching the field and opening lanes for Ashton Jeanty. If Beck grabs 4 targets and turns 2 or 3 into first downs, that's a win. If Thornton's presence helps Jeanty average more yards per carry, that's a win too. Now at number 9, I want to see Geno Smith cut it loose. He said earlier this week that he was going to open it up under the Monday night lights, and tonight, he gets the chance. Yes, this Dallas defense is completely rebuilt with Quinnen Williams, Logan Wilson, Siobhan Revel, and Overshown. But that's exactly why Geno has to play fearless. No hesitation. No holding back. More of that in a moment. Stay with me. The Cowboys' defense might look different on paper this year, but the numbers still tell a very clear story. 22 passing touchdowns allowed, only 4 interceptions, and if you follow football closely, you already know, no defense has given up more fantasy points to quarterbacks than Dallas. So if there was ever a moment to unleash the passing attack under the bright lights of Monday Night Football, inside a packed Allegiant Stadium, in front of the entire world, this is the moment. No hesitation. No excuses. Just play. Sliding into number 8 on my list, I want to see fewer snaps from Devin White. And before anyone jumps into the comments with box score arguments, hear this clearly, tackles don't always tell the truth. Sometimes they disguise it. The reason White keeps racking up tackles is the same reason offenses keep smiling when they see him lined up, they go at him. Over and over again. His run defense grade is buried at 40.1. His coverage grade is just as bad at 44.5. And yes, I know grades aren't everything, but your eyes don't lie. Outside of maybe one respectable performance this year, he has struggled. Constantly. Yet he's still playing 100% of the snaps. That cannot continue. This coaching staff brought him in with big hopes. Losing Jermaine Pratt hurt, no doubt, but playing White the way they're playing him right now is backwards. The roles should have been flipped from the start. And if that's not possible now, then at the very least, give snaps to someone who can steady that second level. More Jamal Adams. A sprinkle of Cody Lindenberg if he's full go. Even some Tommy Eichenberg here and there. Because here's the reality, when the Raiders can't generate pressure, and they still ask White to play in space every single down, it becomes the perfect disaster. It's like waking up craving a bowl of Cheerios, and pouring orange juice into it. You know immediately it's the wrong choice, and yet, somehow, it keeps happening. Number 7 on the list, score more than 10 points and avoid making the wrong kind of history. Because this isn't the record anyone wants connected to their name. Tonight marks the Raiders' third primetime appearance of the season. Week 2 against the Chargers, 9 points. Week 10 against the Broncos, 7 points. And now, they're standing on the edge of becoming the first team in NFL history, ever, to score 10 points or fewer in 3 primetime games in the same season. That's not a milestone. That's a warning siren. And if Mark Davis needs another wake-up call about how broken this offense truly is, then another flat, embarrassing primetime performance inside Allegiant Stadium, against the Dallas Cowboys of all teams, well, that message couldn't be sent any louder. More coming. Stay with me that we just wrapped number 7, and the list is only getting more interesting from here. But before I keep going, I want to hear something from you. What are you watching for tonight? Every fan sees the game through their own lens, and I want to know what's on your mind. Drop it down below. I always read through the thoughts, the concerns, the hopes, all of it. Now let's move to number 6, the rookies need to play more. And I'm talking across the board. On defense, I want to see Caleb Rogers out there. Maybe even Charles Grant if the staff believes he's ready. A couple snaps for J.J. Pega or Tonka Hemingway wouldn't hurt either. And yes, let Cody Lindenberg get involved a bit more. Look at the snap counts. Look at the rotation. It's clear we're holding back players who should be growing right now. This is the time of year when rookies shouldn't look like rookies anymore, yet we're still seeing first-year mistakes deep into the season. And that's because these young guys aren't getting enough time to adjust to NFL speed. We're a 2-7 team. This is exactly when you build for the future, not tiptoe around it. Get Darian Porter on the field more. Keep Jack Beck involved. Let these young players feel the rhythm, the pressure, the responsibility. That's how you build tomorrow's foundation. Now we're heading into the top 5, and this next one could have easily been number 1. At number 5, use Ashton Jeanty, but use him intelligently. There's no question Jeanty can be a difference maker. But running him straight into the teeth of a defensive line like this? That's asking for trouble. The Cowboys' interior is loaded, Kenny Clark's power, Osa Odigizwa's quickness, Quinnen Williams' dominance, it's one of the toughest interior combinations we'll see all season. And I don't care what any stat sheet says, anyone watching football with their own eyes knows that trying to hammer inside run after inside run into that wall is not the answer. The Raiders need to get Jeanty space. Let him bounce outside. Use motion to create mismatches. Get him involved in plays where he can use his burst instead of crashing straight into bodies that outweigh him by 80 to 100 pounds. This needs to be a smart game plan, not a stubborn one. More on the list coming, stay with me. If the Raiders want to give Ashton Jeanty real impact, they need to stop forcing him into traffic and start putting him in situations where he can actually create. Dallas corners and safeties aren't great tacklers, they play soft, they give space, and they miss in the open field. That's exactly where Jeanty can make them pay. Use him the way smart teams use their explosive backs. Get him outside. Motion him around. Throw to him. Make defenders chase instead of collide. I'm not saying he's Jahmyr Gibbs, but that same philosophy, space, speed, angles, works for any running back with burst. Truthfully, I want the offense to lean on 2 players, Ashton Jeanty and Brock Bowers. If the game runs through them and you lose, fine. That's losing on your strengths. What's infuriating is when Jeanty is cooking early, then suddenly Geno Smith has thrown 40 passes while Gentry's stuck at 15 touches. Even if you're down 7, down 10, down 14, don't abandon him. The best offenses don't run away from their best players. And the pistol formation? I've had enough. Move on from it. Go I formation. Go single back. Go 12 personnel. Anything but the same predictable pistol runs we've watched fail over and over. If they trot out that formation in critical moments again, it's hard not to lose your mind. Improvement has to show up somewhere, and this is one of the simplest areas to start. Now to number 4, special teams needs a real step forward. This unit has struggled in every phase: kick return, punt return, coverage, discipline, all of it. Tom McMahon losing his job wasn't a surprise. Now it's on Darius Swinton too to show that change means something. A new voice, a new plan, and hopefully, a new level of execution. There have been tiny bright spots, but this phase of the game has held the Raiders back all season. Tonight is the test. We need to see cleaner blocking, smarter lanes, sharper coverage, and yes, more confidence from Daniel Carlson. This entire group must look like it's taken a step. Sliding into number 3, I want Alex Cappa on the bench. And I don't say that lightly. But the truth is the truth, right guard has been a problem, and Cappa hasn't helped steady anything. Whether the options are Cappa, Putnam, or Caleb Rogers. I'd rather see Rogers. Let the young players get real reps, let them make real progress. Honestly, if the Raiders wanted to shake things up and kick DJ Glaze inside, line up Charles Grant outside, or roll with Stone Forsythe on the edge, I'd be open to it. Anything that creates movement, competition, improvement. Because keeping Cappa out there feels like signing up for pain. It's like telling someone, I enjoy getting hit just to see how much it hurts. That's what his play has looked like, not just this year, but last year too. It's time to try something else, because doing the same thing again is begging for the same result. More ahead, stay with me that we've reached the point in the season where the Raiders can't afford to keep trotting out the same old veterans who've been stuck in reverse for years. At some point, you've got to choose development over nostalgia. And honestly, I'm done watching a 30-year-old guard get bullied every week while a hungry rookie stands on the sideline holding a helmet. Will Caleb Rogers struggle? Probably. In fact, I'd expect him to have a rough night against that monster interior. But struggle is how a young lineman grows. You don't waste time trying to teach new tricks to a dog who stopped listening 3 years ago, you focus on the pup with energy, with upside, with something to build on. That's where this coaching staff needs to shift its mindset. Which brings us to number 2 on my list, and this one should hit every Raiders fan right in the chest: Brock Bowers. Needs more targets. Simple. Direct. Non-negotiable. And look, I'll give Chip Kelly credit for something. He actually went to the podium this week and admitted he didn't do a good enough job getting Brock involved. That takes honesty. But admitting the problem is only the first half of the equation. The second half is fixing it. I watched that Broncos game expecting Denver to double and triple him all night, and maybe that's why he vanished. But no, the film told a different story. Brock had one-on-ones everywhere. Everywhere. And somehow, we still walked away with 3 targets and a single catch. After what he did against Jacksonville. After he literally took over a game. How does that happen? If Brock Bowers doesn't walk into this matchup with at least double-digit opportunities, then somebody on this staff needs a bus ticket to anywhere that isn't the Raiders' sideline. I don't care if the throw is off. I don't care if the play breaks down. I don't care if it's a tough window. Sometimes you just put the ball in the hands of your best player and trust he'll make something out of nothing. Even the attempt forces defenses to react. Eyes shift to Brock, and when eyes shift, someone else gets free. That's how an offense breathes. So here's the bottom line: Chip recognized the mistake. Good. Now fix it. Get Brock the ball. Or at least show the world you're trying. And after this, I've got my number 1 thing to watch for tonight, but before we step into that, I just want to explain why this game hits different for me. I live in Dallas. My wife is a diehard Cowboys fan. Her whole family bleeds blue. Everywhere I go this week, the coffee shop, the barber, grocery store, whatever, people look at me and smirk. Raiders. Cowboys. Big one, huh? And I still hold on to that Thanksgiving win like a trophy. 36-33. Derek Carr, Daniel Carlson. Turkey legs and bragging rights that lasted for years. Tonight? Yeah, tonight matters. Let's get into number 1. For me, this isn't just another Monday night game. This one carries weight, the kind you feel in your chest before kickoff. My wife already warned me, a few of her friends are coming over to watch the game, all Cowboys fans. I can already picture it, the jokes, the noise, the "how you feeling, Raiders guy" comments every time Dallas gets a first down. Thankfully, they'll clear out before I get home from work. But if the Raiders pull off a win? Yeah, I might just race home early and walk in like I own the building. But this game hits on more than just the home front. When our company first started, there were no big shows, no long list of channels. Just 2 ideas, one for Raiders fans, one for Cowboys fans. 2 projects that felt like twin sparks in the dark. Tom took Dallas, I took Vegas. And even though we've grown to over 40 channels now, those 2. They'll always feel like the originals, the foundation. That's why tonight feels like stepping into a ring. Tom's one of my closest friends, he stood at my wedding, I stood at his, but none of that matters for 3 hours tonight. For 3 hours, I want to beat him. And he wants the exact same thing. It's friendly fire with bragging rights attached. But even all of that, doesn't compare to the real reason today weighs on my heart. Today marks the anniversary of my grandfather's passing. I keep a picture of him, same color suit I wore on my wedding day, and every year, this date hits hard. But if there's one man who taught me what grit looks like, what showing up every day really means, it was him. He lived commitment to excellence long before those words were painted on any wall. So tonight, yeah. I'm going to be loud. I'm going to be fired up. Maybe more than he'd approve of. But I'm going to honor him the way he would have wanted, by showing passion, showing energy, and refusing to back down. And if you've had a tough season, a tough year, or honestly a tough era as a Raiders fan, come through tonight. Let's ride the emotions together and enjoy a game that finally feels meaningful. Now, let's talk about the number 1 thing I'm watching for tonight on Monday Night Football. I want to see Pete Carroll make Geno Smith fight for his job. No more handing out forgiveness slips. No more pretending everything is fine because the offense is someone else's department. Geno hasn't earned that kind of protection this season, not even close. Adam McConnell is out again, wrist injury, fine. He'll be back next week, and that might turn into a whole Shader-Sanders conversation, but that's for another day. Right now, the focus is simple, make Geno earn it. You moved on from Tom McMahon because special teams wasn't good enough. You made adjustments on defense because that's your area of expertise. But when the offense gets brought up, suddenly everything gets quiet. Whether it's Chip Kelly's decision-making, the O-line issues under Brennan Carroll, or Pete simply trusting his guys too much, something has to give. Tonight is the night to challenge your quarterback. Push him. Test him. Make him respond. If Geno wants this job, let him show it under the lights. That's the energy I'm taking into this game, for the team, for the rivalry, for the bragging rights, and for the man whose picture I carry with me every November 17th. Let's get into it. Here's the truth, something about this whole setup feels off. You can't hire a pair of coaches who act like stepbrothers and then wonder why the suit doesn't quite fit. And the moment Geno stepped up to the mic this week and said, "No excuses," that was it. Those were his words. If you're going to say something that bold, then you better be ready to live in that flame. Because I'm the type of person who gives trust freely, but the second someone shows me they don't really mean what they say, that trust evaporates. Geno said he performs best with his back against the wall. Fine. If that's the environment he thinks brings out the best in him, then Pete needs to build that environment right now. There's no more room for safety nets. Look him in the eye and remind him, we traded for you. We extended you. Now earn what you've been given. Even if it was a short-term deal, even if the number stings, that doesn't matter tonight. What matters is accountability. And if Geno truly needs the wall at his back, then push him right up against it and see if he swings. And if he doesn't respond? If he shrinks under the lights against Dallas? Then the conversation has to change. Not excuses. Not explanations. Not, we'll look at the tape. It has to become, is it time for someone else? Maybe that means looking at Kenny Pickett against his old team. Maybe that means giving Aidan O'Connell a real shot, the same guy who looked steadier last season in a weaker offense than what Geno and Chip Kelly have been given this year. Because something needs to be answered. Is this a Geno problem? Is it a Chip Kelly problem? Or is it a stubbornness problem? I need to see Pete Carroll put the same energy behind the quarterback that he puts behind the rookies. You can't call out young players for mistakes, threaten their snaps, and then turn around and shield the guy wearing the C on his chest. That's how organizations fall apart, when accountability becomes selective. That's why this fires me up. I care about this team. I spend hours digging through tape, decisions, and patterns, and the worst thing you can do in any workplace, football or otherwise, is let favoritism dictate the rules. That destroys trust faster than anything else. So tonight, I want one thing above all else: make Geno Smith prove he deserves that job. Make him fight for it. Make him earn it. Because he hasn't done enough. Not yet. And pretending otherwise helps no one. Those are the final pieces I'll be watching closely when the lights hit on Monday Night Football. Tonight should feel like a test, for the quarterback, for the staff, and for the direction of this entire season. Raiders, for once, give us something real to believe in. Give us something to shout about. Give us a night that reminds us why we endure the heartbreak and still show up every week.